Tonight, crime and punishment. What police are doing to take down marauding gangs and violent offenders. A 9 News exclusive. Officers assaulted in the chaotic aftermath of a Western Suburbs arson attack. When home doesn't feel safe, the government under pressure to get tougher on serial troublemakers in public housing. Bigger back-to-school savings for SA parents. Find out if you'll benefit. And Aryna Sabalenka celebrates back-to-back Australian Open titles as a new men's champion prepares to be crowned.
This is Adelaide's 9 News.
Good evening. The Premier says police are winning the war against gangs and violent offenders. 9 News can exclusively reveal more than 80 people have been arrested in connection to some of the state's most dangerous crimes, posing serious threat to public safety.
Armed and dangerous and creeping into homes. These are the types of violent criminals wanted by Operation Mandrake.
The reason why Operation Mandrake was established is because police had intelligence. They knew that a small number of people were doing a lot of the crime in our community.
The specialised task force set up almost 20 years ago targets crimes that pose a significant risk to the community, including thefts, home invasions and gang break-ins. Operation Mandrake has netted 86 criminals in the past year alone. That's 1 arrest every 4 days.
These arrests send an important message, and that is that the police are prepared to apprehend people who they suspect are being involved in violent crime or people associated with those who perpetrate violent crime.
86 arrests occur throughout last year is a good thing. It's a demonstration that the operation is working. What needs to continue is that the courts and the criminal justice system more broadly actually turns the lives around of these often young offenders.
Authorities also revealing they've seized a range of weapons, none of them firearms.
Police are taking weapons off the street, very rarely found any firearms-related offences, which is indicative of the fact that we have strong firearms control laws.
Police say that Operation Mandrake is all about preventing crimes before they happen, not just locking people up. They say they'll continue to work closely with the community to keep our streets and homes safer.
Kelly Hughes, thank you. An accused arsonist has assaulted 2 police officers in Findon. Security cameras captured a man acting in a disorderly manner on Crittenden Road just minutes after he'd allegedly set fire to a nearby car. Police say when they tried to arrest the 25-year-old, they were assaulted. The car's owner describing the ordeal as completely random.
It's vicious. Who does that, you know? Why set my beautiful car on fire? You know, I've done nothing to him. Don't even know the bloke.
The accused will face court tomorrow. Police are hunting 2 teenage boys after an armed robbery at an Ovingham bottle shop. The suspects threatened staff with a knife at the Bombay Bicycle Club drive-through on Torrens Road just before 9:30 last night. Patrols searched the area, but the teens couldn't be found. No one was physically hurt. New calls tonight for the government to get tougher on housing trust tenants repeatedly breaking the law. The Premier says hundreds of troublemakers were evicted last year, but the opposition says it's not enough.
Police smashed their way into a Hectorville housing trust unit after a 4-hour siege. The incident happened in mid-December, one of 22 police call-outs to this complex in the space of just 35 days. Long-time resident Rehn says he no longer feels safe.
Right, you get idiots, OK. The druggies I'll worry about.
The opposition says there's been a 25% jump in housing trust complaints in the last 2 years. It's calling on the government to kick out repeat offenders.
Peter Malinauskas and Nat Cook have gone soft on badly behaved tenants who terrorise the local neighbourhood. And not only that, they make life a living hell.
I think there were well over 200 housing trust tenants that were evicted during the course of last calendar year as a result of the strong actions that we are taking.
But residents I've spoken to say the solution isn't as simple as evicting tenants from public housing and that there needs to be a shift in focus to mental health.
People are over antisocial behaviour and crime literally spilling out into the streets.
Samantha Hogan, 9 News.
A young female jockey has been airlifted to the Royal Adelaide Hospital with serious but non-life-threatening back injuries after a racing accident at Strathalbyn. Emergency services rushing to the racecourse just before 2 p.m. after 21-year-old Kelsey Hannon fell from her horse. The incident unfolding just moments after Hannon crossed the finish line at the Strathalbyn Cup meet. A speedboat racer badly injured in a collision in Berry has been transported to the Royal Adelaide Hospital and will undergo surgery tomorrow. Mark Schultz was competing in the Australian Bad Boat Championship yesterday when his boat collided with another vessel, the impact knocking him unconscious. His family have told 9 News he suffered fractures to his jaw, eye socket and hand. The government's promising big savings for families in the form of discounted public school fees and subsidised laptops. Some households could be thousands of dollars better off.
Back-to-school preparations are underway at the Harthorpes, but with 6 kids, the costs are quickly adding up.
So where are we going to find the money, for camps or for school fees or laptops?
Free laptops for primary and secondary students is the state government's latest cost-saving measure for families just like them.
A bit of a godsend,
it's a bit
really.
of a weight off our shoulders.
More than 15,000 devices already distributed through the new program to be rolled out across the next 3 years at a cost of $30 million.
I certainly think it is money well spent.
And for all families with children attending a public school, $100 will automatically be wiped off the material and services fee for each student.
If you're a family sending 3 kids to a public school, that means you get $300 off.
This year, the materials and services fee will be removed for more than 50,000 students as more low-income families become eligible for help through the existing school card scheme.
That's about providing support where it is needed most.
And is a much-needed boost ahead of another school year.
Yeah. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Shannon McDonald, 9 News.
Low and middle income earners appear closer to securing a tax cut tonight, with the federal opposition weighing up supporting the new Stage 3 tax policy. Under the revised plan, every Australian would receive a tax cut. The Prime Minister says it should help with prices at the checkout as well.
Peter Dutton with salmon producers in Tasmania, but not taking the bait on tax.
We'll do the figures as we're doing at the moment, and we'll make a decision and an announcement.
A far cry from this battle cry just a few days ago.
We will fight this legislation in the Parliament. We don't even know what it will look like.
The opposition tonight contemplating backing the tax changes for low and middle income earners, whilst criticising the package and Prime Minister.
This $28 billion stolen back from hard-working Australians over the next 10 years is a lifetime tax on aspiration.
I have said this is a change of our position, but it's a change of our position not driven by politics. It's driven by looking after people.
The changes designed to encourage mothers back into the workforce, hoping to ease the pressure on prices and businesses.
This will be an incentive for labour supply, and that is one of the things that has been a major issue.
The tax cuts won't begin until July, but with rents at record highs now, there's new pressure for more housing solutions in the budget. The Nationals tonight calling for tradies to be prioritised in immigration intakes.
We've got to be able to give some protections, ease back on immigration and allow people that are here the sanctity of a roof over their head.
Charles Cratchit, 9 News.
Australia is pausing its $6 million aid package to the United Nations Relief and Works Agency as the organisation investigates if some of its staff members were involved in the Hamas attacks on October 7. The UN agency supports Palestinians in Gaza. There are allegations 12 of its workers took part in the assaults that killed 1,200 Israelis. Property tycoon Lang Walker has died aged 78. Mr Walker, who had an estimated wealth of $5.8 billion, developed a number of projects here, including the Riverlea Housing Estate in Adelaide's north and the Festival Tower behind Parliament House. He'd been ill for some time. Aryna Sabalenka is the toast of tennis tonight, celebrating her second straight Australian Open title. She's the first woman to go back-to-back at Melbourne Park in 11 years, dominating the final after a near-flawless tournament.
A party in the park for a back-to-back champion. Time for Arena Sabalenka to put her feet up.
I think the first one was the hardest one, but I can say that the second one was the easiest one. No, it's still hard.
A second Grand Slam title for the 25-year-old. Celebrations starting as soon as she left the court.
It's going to be a fun interview because I'm going to drink it.
Kicking on to her hotel room. Team Sabalenka partying until the early hours.
We all had a little drink. Some of them had not a little drink, they had a lot.
That drink was well earned.
Oh, sensational.
Sabalenka looked like a champion from the start. She didn't drop a set all tournament, and in the final, blasted past Zhang Qingwen in just over an hour.
Sabalenka defends the title.
I think after that match point, I felt like relief, like it's time to kind of like breathe normal.
Sabalenka seizing the Australian Open crown again, and she'd love to add more trophies to her cabinet.
It's definitely something incredible, and it's definitely give me much more belief that I can do well on the Grand Slams.
Luke Dovesey, 9 News.
In the news ahead, police catch neo-Nazis rallying in Sydney. Also tonight, humps in the road, the unusual roadblock that saw a highway turned into a zebra crossing. And a sea of swimmers take to the water for the 9 News Jetty to Jetty. Police have disrupted a neo-Nazi gathering in a park in Sydney after residents reported the group. Today's operation comes after they were intercepted on their way to an Australia Day event on Friday. 9 News understands the group rented a nearby Scout Hall yesterday, claiming it was for a birthday party. Smoke has engulfed the heart of Liverpool in England's northwest as fire tore through a 4-storey building under development. A major incident was declared in the city, with people told to avoid the area and nearby residents advised to close their windows and doors. Police in the US state of Indiana stepped right up to rescue a group of circus animals who struck trouble on the highway. 5 zebras, 4 camels and a miniature horse were all saved from a trailer after the semi-truck pulling it caught on fire. They roamed freely, snacking on grass, before officers secured them. 19-year-old sprint sensation Tori Lewis has etched her name into the history books, earning the title of Australia's fastest woman. The teen erasing all previous records at a race meet in Canberra.
It's a moment Tori Lewis will never forget.
Tori Lewis is now starting to pick up. Bree Masters will go with her and so will Mia Gross, but Lewis, her last 50.
Winning the 100 metres final in record time in the under-20s and Open Championships.
It was just unbelievable. I was like, did I seriously just do that very early in the season? And it was just really unexpected for me to get it. And yeah, I was just so happy with it.
Lewis's time of 11.1 seconds shaved 1/100th of a second off the previous mark of 11.11 seconds by Melissa Breen 10 years ago, and also beat the great Raylene Boyle's Australian under-20s record of 11.2 set in 1968. Tori was congratulated by Melissa Breen on social media. Records are made to be broken. The baton is now yours. Carry it with pride and purpose every day. The two met at the track today.
She was just so lovely, so nice, and gave me some really good words of encouragement.
The vision now, the Paris Olympics. Qualifying would be the dream of a young lifetime.
Just such an honour being able to say I've been to an Olympics and being able to represent Australia. It's just something that every athlete wants to do in their career, and I'll be so happy to do it.
Eddie Meyer, 9 News.
Over 400 swimmers made a cracking start to their Sunday morning, tackling the 9 News Jetty to Jetty swim. The race from Grange to Henley usually takes place on Australia Day, but was rescheduled because of rough conditions. Our very own Brenton Raglis and Will McDonald were among those braving the water, and they are braver than you and I, Tom Wren.
Big time. That goes without saying.
It does. It does. Now, Rennie, it is all on the line tonight at the Australian Open.
Blockbuster final as well. One of Daniil Medvedev or Yannick Sinner. They're going to take home the trophy for the very first time. Alice cannot wait. We will have all the latest tennis news next, but also coming up, unexpected and unbelievable how the Windies pulled off a famous Test triumph. Plus, fists fly during this bench-clearing brawl in Adelaide, of all places.
9 News, brought to you by Australia's #1 selling vehicle, Ford Ranger.
Hello again. A thrilling finale awaits at the Australian Open final tonight when Jannik Sinner and Daniil Medvedev meet in a blockbuster men's final. Meantime, Qinwen Zheng is determined to come back stronger after being thrashed in last night's women's final by Aryna Sabalenka.
Maybe I have to work more on my tennis, also work more on my mental side, work more on myself to be able to through this moment. Because if you lose, there must be reason behind why you lose, and we have to try to figure out why.
Today, Sue Shea won her second trophy of the week, adding a women's doubles title to her mixed doubles crown. Great stuff. Well, the West Indies have just stunned Australia to win the second test at the Gabba by 8 runs. South Aussie Travis Head finished with a king pair as Shamar Joseph inspired his side to secure one of the biggest upsets in Test history.
Shamar Joseph's summer looked over when he was struck by Mitchell Starc Yorker last night.
There's grave concern here for Shamar Joseph, and he's in all sorts of trouble.
Hours later, the youngster was back on the front foot.
Oh, bow, that's a ripper.
Free to bowl after being cleared of a broken toe, Joseph had 2 wickets in 2 balls.
Oh, it's king pair for Travis Head.
Steve Smith, the only Aussie to offer any resistance.
As the pressure level goes up, Steve Smith answers.
As his teammates fell under Joseph's spell.
Yes, he's done it! Shamar Joseph has bowled an absolute cracker.
The paceman had the visitors daring to dream.
This young fella's creating history here today, folks.
Mitchell Starc's explosive cameo came to an end on 21. Joseph had the second 5-wicket haul of his short career and was full of confidence.
Edge away, big catch, big wicket. Wow, what about this?
His side closing in on a famous victory. Nat Unides, 9 News.
That celebration, wow. The 36ers finals hopes remain very much alive thanks to a 17-point thumping of Cairns. DJ Vasiljevic pacing his team with 28 points to put a play-in spot well and truly within reach, even if he's not taking things too seriously.
I mean, we're trying to play the play-in, so I'm trying to stick around. I'm trying to get my bonus check for the semi-finals, so I'm trying to win as many games as I possibly can.
The Sixers next host Sydney with 4 games now left in the season. Well, meantime, a triumphant comeback for 2-time Olympian Steph Talbot, returning almost exactly 1 year to the day since rupturing her ACL.
Lauren Mansfield, Talbot off the dribble, takes on Fowler. Great move, great assessment.
In limited minutes, she finished with 14 points and 7 rebounds in a win over Canberra. And what about this? Some wild scenes at West Beach last night as benches cleared for an all-out brawl between Adelaide and Melbourne.
There's some serious heat happening. Oh, my goodness. Players are getting thrown down. Players up against the fence. Something has to stop this. This is wild.
Sure was. Thankfully, Adelaide had the last laugh in the 3-2 victory. Alice, that is the sport for Sunday night.
Thanks, Rennie. Well, Chelsea has the weather forecast next. First, though, tomorrow's speed cameras.
Wake up and laugh with Adelaide's #1 breakfast show.
Rudits and Loz tomorrow on 104.7 Triple M.
For the latest Adelaide news and traffic.
Welcome back. I'm here at Merino and it is a beautiful night. Today we really couldn't have asked for better Sunday weather. Lots of warm sunshine and we ended up hitting a top of 28.7 in the city. Right now it's sitting on 26.9. Barely a cloud across Adelaide today. Warmest in the northern suburbs. It cracked 30 degrees at Mawson Lakes and Elizabeth. Glenorg a little fresher with 24. Sunshine across the state with temperatures reaching into the mid-30s at Port Augusta and up through the the far north. Renmark and Nurrietpa made 31. Lovely on Hindmarsh Island with a sunny 22. Now, hopefully you are enjoying this weather because conditions are going to stay quite stable for much of the week thanks to a ridge of high pressure. So expect more days very similar to this. But it is a different story up in Queensland. There's a lot of moisture up there at the moment with rain and flood warnings in place through large parts. Tomorrow, Brisbane could see anywhere up to 45 millimetres of rain along with a thunderstorm. Now, here at home, sunny skies across our north and west. Hottest up through the far north around places like Roxby Downs, 41 degrees there. A sunny 38 at Renmark and sunshine across the south, 29 at Murray Bridge. On local waters, winds tending south to southeasterly in the evening, reaching 20 knots north of Grange. Seas to 1.5 metres. So across Adelaide, well, a warm and sunny return to school for the kids. Truly should be a beautiful sunny summer's day. 29 at Glenelg and Noarlunga, 27 at Malbarka, up to 32 at Elizabeth. In the city, well, a warm night tonight, staying above 18 degrees. Tomorrow, sunshine and up to 31. Then we have this run of stable weather, so mostly sunny conditions for much of the week. Temperatures really pleasant as well, mostly in the high 20s. So, Alice, I don't think there'll be too many complaints with this summer's forecast.
Absolutely not, Chelsea. Simply gorgeous. Thank you. And that's Adelaide's 9 News for this Sunday. Thanks for your company. Stand by now for the Australian Open men's final. I'm Alice Monfries. Good night.